So I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. No, I'm not talking average. I'm not talking like 2 out of 10. I'm talking, when I watch the games, I'm like, probably because they're always losing and whatever. But I'm always so interested and so focused on the Bills. Now, this past summer, I had a chance to go to Buffalo Bills training camp over at St. John Fisher College. Who's ever been to the Bills training camp before, right? So at the Bills training camp, perhaps the most exciting part is definitely not what's happening on the field because the Bills are bad. But it's inside this tent. There are all these mini games and things that you can play. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? These little activities. How many of you have ever been to a carnival before? And you play those impossible games that it's like, no way can you make this basketball that's the same size as the rim. No way can you make that. You know what I'm talking about? It's like impossible to do it, right? And so that's how these games were. But I decided, I'm just going to play. They were free, and I had a chance to win some cool prizes. So I pick up this ball, and I stand here like I'm the best quarterback in the world because I am. Anyway, so I pick up this foam ball, and there's this target that's about 15 yards away, and it's this tiny, tiny little hole that barely fits the ball, and I have to try to make it in there. So I pick up the ball, and I stand here, and I'm like, down, set, hike, and I drop back to pass, and the crowd's just like, who is this guy? What is he going to do? Just kidding, they weren't doing that. So then I drop back, and then I throw the ball, and it's all slow-mo. It's this spiral. It's like, and bang, I make the shot. Thank you. And so the whole place went crazy. The Bills stopped practicing, and they were like, who is this guy? I'm just kidding, they didn't. But it was incredible, and I was so excited that I had just made this shot because now it was time for me to win my prize, and I was ready to rock. So the guy's like, dude, congrats, man. He's like, okay, so there's 3 shirts here. Which one do you want? I'm like, I'll take the medium Mario Williams shirt. That one would be awesome. He's like, all right, sounds good. So he goes in the back to go get me my shirt. But as he goes in the back, these other big guys, they come over and they start to stack the shirts that are on display, and they start to stack them, and they pick them up, and they start to walk away with the shirts. And I'm like, where are you going with my shirts? And so this guy comes out from back that was helping me, and he comes out empty-handed, and he goes, hey man, my boss said that we're not going to be giving out any more shirts today. And I'm like, I don't know if you know me. I don't know if you know what I did, but I made the impossible shot, so give me my shirt. I needed it, right? I wanted my shirt. I wanted my prize because I did something, and that is what I deserved in this moment. Now, how many of you guys in this room would say that you can relate to me that it's terrible when you don't get something that you deserve, right? It's the worst. But I think there's another side to that, right? Can you imagine 2 Christmases ago, I got this iPad for Christmas. Can you imagine if 2 years ago, when I opened this present from my mom, just picture this, all right? We're with the Christmas tree, we got some hot cocoa, whatever. We're opening our presents, and I get this present from my mom, and I open it up, and I'm like, it's an iPad, right? And I go, Mom, I don't deserve this. I deserve an iPod Shuffle at the most. No! If I said that, I'd be crazy, right? Even though I didn't deserve this iPad, I'm like, I will gladly accept, right? How many of you are with me on that, right? So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be sharing just that. We're going to be talking about 2 people who got what they didn't deserve. And that's it. And then we're going to be dismissed, and we're going to do some crazy stuff here for the rest of the day. But we're going to be talking about 2 guys who got what they didn't deserve. And so we're going to start with this story that's in history books and back in the Bible. And this story goes like this, right? There's a prisoner over here, but before I start, I need you guys to chat with me a little bit. So I don't want to speak at you, but I want to have some conversation. So when I repeat some things, can you guys repeat them with me? Is that cool? Just some conversation. I don't want to be a teacher. I just want to chat. Is that cool? Cool. All right, so we got prisoner number 1 over here, and his name is Barabbas. Come on, can you shout Barabbas? Barabbas. Does anyone have any friends named Barabbas? I didn't think so. Barabbas is not a popular name. It's, anyway. His name's Barabbas. What's his name? Barabbas. And he is prisoner number 1. Prisoner number 2 stands over here. His name is Jesus. Come on, can you say Jesus? Jesus. Can you say Jesus a little bit louder than you said Barabbas? Jesus. That's what I'm talking about. So prisoner number 1 is Barabbas. Prisoner number 2 is Jesus. And you see, what they used to do during this time is there would be this judge that would come up. And the judge would come up in front of all of the people, and on this day, he would release one of the prisoners to be free, and then he would send another prisoner to go and die and be crucified for his punishment. And so here the judge is on this day, and he steps up, and he begins to say to the people, "People, who do you want me to get rid of? Who do you want me to set free? And who do you want me to send to be crucified?" And so he went up and asked all the people. Now you see, Barabbas was in prison because he deserved it. Barabbas was a murderer. He was a crook. He stole things. He led this incredible mob thing. And he was the absolute scum of the earth, the worst of the worst. And he deserved to be in these chains and in these shackles. He absolutely deserved it. But Jesus was an innocent man. All he ever did was claim to be the Son of God. All he ever did was heal blind eyes and heal deaf ears and heal people and love people and care for people. Why was Jesus, the Son of God, sitting here innocent, yet he was in the same place as Barabbas, who was fully guilty and fully deserving of punishment? So it seems like the decision's pretty easy, right? That, okay, yeah, Jesus is innocent, let him go, and Barabbas deserves death, so send him to be crucified and died. But the way that the customs go, the judge steps up to the people and says, "People, what should I do with Barabbas?" And they start saying, "Set him free. We want Barabbas free. Barabbas, Barabbas." You can imagine Barabbas in this moment, right? He's stuck in his chains and shackles, and he's like, "They're calling my name. Like, these people want me. I'm going to be set free." So then the judge is standing here and he goes, well then what do I do with Jesus? And they say, "Crucify him, kill him, take his life, crucify Jesus." And they yell it, and he goes, "But what has Jesus done?" And they shout all the louder, "Crucify him, crucify him." How many of you guys in this place know those jacked kids in high school that are like huge, and you're like, "Are you still in high school?" Kind of huge, you know what I'm saying, right? How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Some of you were like, "Yeah, that's me." So pretend like that's you times 10, okay? Imagine these Roman guards, that they're that size, and these Roman guards, just picture this moment with me. These Roman guards come out and they have these keys, right? And they begin to walk over to Barabbas, and you can hear the chains start to come as they come over. Now Barabbas must be getting so excited. He's been in prison for years, and here he stands excited because the people want to set him free, and these guards are coming up. So the guard starts and opens up the chain of his hands, and now his hands are free for the first time in years. He's feeling this freedom, and then they come down here and they unlock his feet, and all of a sudden he is free. Not because of anything that he did, but all of a sudden he is free. He's been a prisoner for so long, but now he's been set free. So Barabbas begins to take this first step, and it feels too good to be true, and takes another step and another step and another step. And I can picture Barabbas in this moment being like, "Yeah, the people love me. Yeah, they're chanting my name. Yeah, I'm free. It doesn't matter about this stuff that I did because I'm free. I'm free." But what about Jesus? What about the innocent one? What about Jesus? He stands here with his chains and his shackles that he doesn't deserve. And he's silent. He remains silent and just stands there and looks upon Barabbas with compassion in his eyes. And Barabbas just continues to walk. Barabbas continues to move forward. But you see, as I was reading this story and considering this, I was thinking, you know what? I'm Barabbas. You know what? You are Barabbas. For some of us in this room, we find ourselves caught in these chains. That for some of you, you can't get enough good grades to impress your parents. And every day it feels like when you come home and you have to show them your report card or you have to show them your grade, it feels like you're stuck in another chain. For some of you, you keep getting cut by the sports teams, or you don't get enough playing time that you want or think you deserve, and you feel like you're caught in these chains. For some of you, you look in a mirror every single morning and all you see is ugly and fat, and you can't even love yourself, and you find yourselves caught in these chains. We are Barabbas. We are caught in this place. But as Barabbas is walking away, I can only imagine that as Barabbas begins to walk and be with those people, I got to believe that he looks back at Jesus and says, "Man, I wonder who he is. Man, I wonder who who is this man that's silent? He said he's the Son of God, but man, I wonder who he is. I can imagine as Barabbas is walking, and as we are walking, as we look back, I wonder if we say, I wonder who he is. So here's Barabbas. Barabbas stands and looks back and says, I wonder who he is. Just with enough time Those big guards come over and begin to move Jesus over. They bring him to this whipping post. The big Roman guards, they get these whips and they begin to beat and beat and whip and whip. Whipping isn't all that they do, but they find the sharpest things they can find. They find sharp rocks and sharp stones and hooks and the sharpest things they can get, and they begin to whip him and beat him with these things, so much so that it wraps around him and catches him in the front and tears open his stomach. They whip his back and his front and his face and his everything. Then they move him over to this other place and they take this crown of thorns and set it on his head and beat it on his head so that the thorns pierce his head and that the crown can stay on him. They take this purple robe and wrap it around him. They say, "Look at the king. Oh man, look at the king." He can barely stand. They rip back off the cloak and it opens up all of the cuts that he had just received. He can barely stand to his feet, and they put this heavy cross on his back, and he carries it to the place where he's about to ultimately die. And there he stands on this cross. They take his right hand and they put a nail right through his hand. They take his left hand and they put a nail right through his left hand. They pierce a nail right through his feet, and there he stands in front of all of the people that were calling for him to be crucified. In front of everyone that was there, there he stands, the innocent one. But where is Barabbas? Where is the one that deserves this punishment? Where is the one who was guilty, who wasn't innocent, who was a murderer? Where is he? He should be going through this whipping. He should be spit on. He should be cursed at. He should be hanging on this cross. Where is Barabbas? But you see, Barabbas thought that the people set him free. But the truth is, it was Jesus that set him free. You see, Barabbas thought that it was the people that loved him. But the truth is, it is Jesus that loved him. And you need to know in this place, if you find yourself caught in chains, if you find yourself broken and you have nowhere to go, I need you to know this morning that when God died for you then, it was once and for all. That there's nothing else you can do. You cannot escape it and you cannot earn it. But he died for you one time. He went through all of that pain and he stood there high and mighty in front of everyone and said, "Today is the day where you are free forever. Forever your chains are off. Forever you've been saved from sin. Forever you have been saved and set free." But why? Why do we still sit as if we have chains on? Why do some of us still feel like we can't move anywhere? We still feel like we're caught in this place when we're not going forward. We cannot do enough good deeds to earn what he did. And we can't do enough bad things to escape what he did. But his love welcomes even the scum of the earth, even the worst of the worst. But Jesus loved Barabbas. And Jesus loves you. And that is why he did what he did. So in this moment, I ask that every single one of you can close your eyes and bow your heads in this place. And if you're in this place and if you feel like, this is the first time that I've actually understood that Jesus took my place, that even though I was guilty and even though I deserve this because of the way that I live, because of my mistakes, because of my failures, but you know what? Today's the first day that I understand what Jesus has done. If you find yourself in this room, I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to begin the first day and the best day of the rest of your life. That today you're going to have a chance to accept what Jesus has done. Because when he died, it was once and for all, but now the choice is yours. Will you follow and be free from your sin? Or will you stay bound and stay caught? The choice is yours today. And I'm going to count to 3. And when I get to 3, I'm going to ask that you shoot your hand to the sky and you begin to proclaim to God that you accept what Jesus did for you. So I'm going to count to 3 and the band's going to build up as we count. Remember, this is your moment. 1. Come on, it doesn't matter who's around. 2. Come on, 3. Raise those hands to the sky. If you want to accept him into your life today. If you feel like today is the day for you. If you feel like this is your time.